Welcome to this video. You may be in a space where you've lost that fire, where you are searching for your purpose, where you're not getting things done. You're not getting things accomplished. You're not making that move in your purpose. And if this is you, then really stick around because I'm going to show you exactly how to get back feeling like your true self again. So if you're new to this channel, my name is Max, and I am a spiritual seeker. I'm also a Kung Fu Sifu. I've been a trainer for 20 years, and this technique I'm going to be giving you today, if you take with you, is going to help you better your life, and that's really what this is about. It's about taking things that work, which is the essence of one of the styles that I teach. It's called Jeet Kune Do. You take what works and you discard what doesn't work. So take what works today, implement it, and things are going to get better, and the negativity is going to diminish in your life. The drowsiness is going to diminish, the sluggishness, the part of you that just feels like you don't have that fire and that purpose is going to diminish greatly. So one of the things in today's time is we are up against a lot of negativity. We have many battles going on a big front as far as the whole Western civilization goes, and believe me, I'm very aware of all of these fronts. And the thing is if you let that get a hold of you, it's like a hypnotic rhythm. It's like a whole machine that entrains the brain to think with angst, to think with anger. And if you keep feeding on that, it's going to take your attention. And guess what? If your attention is consumed by that stuff, you're not getting things done. You're not having and living the life you want to live. We need to live from our chosen path, not what somebody else is putting on us. So my number one message today is don't take the bait, because there's plenty of bait out there. And I think it's okay to be aware of what's going on. In fact, I think everybody should be aware of what's going on. There are many societal issues I can talk about today. And the thing is I know you already know about these. And believe me, I think it's important to be aware so you can take the appropriate actions. But what's happening now is we're being pulled into things that just don't get us anywhere. And thus it's weakening the human vessels, and this can take up your whole life. It can take up years of your life where you're being consumed by entities that don't care anything about you. And what do you have to show for it, right? We could be so much greater just by implementing these techniques. So the number one thing I want to challenge you to do today is go from stuff that is not serving you to things that do serve you. And it's very simple. You go from not serving yourself to something meaningful. Okay, something meaningful. Let me give you an example. So there's a lot of videos about how the crime is going up, and there's a certain sector of people that commit a lot of crime. There's a certain challenges that men are having with dating and relationships, and also women. And then we have people coming in from other countries who are, it's like an invasion, right? So all these things are pushing and weighing on the consciousness of the Western civilization. And so while you're aware of that, how does that help you in your life, in your individual life? Well, it doesn't. And so the shift has to be from going to, let's say right now you may be consuming 80% on these things, and then maybe only 20% of stuff that's meaningful in your life. All right, or maybe you're in a job that you really don't like, and you're spending all your time in this job. You want to break out of it, but you just don't have the energy anymore because you come home and the only thing that's left to do is to eat and sleep and maybe consume some things on TV. And so if that's the case, you could classify a lot of this as not serving yourself. So you got to take your time that is valuable and shift it over to meaningful. What I would recommend is getting some material that you can consume, because what happens is when you consume positive material, this actually activates higher frequencies in the brain. I picked up a new audiobook a week ago and couldn't get enough of it. And it started activating these latent frequencies, these frequencies that were there, they needed to be activated, and now it just woke me up again. And I'm having this second awakening, and I want to share with you this energy that I've had happen many times, but when I remember it, I also remember who I truly am. And we're all built like this. When you remember who you truly are, you're going to be enlivened, you're going to be awakened, and you're going to feel like you have purpose, you have drive again, and you have meaning in your life. So find some meaningful material. This is really important. Get some meaningful material. If you're watching videos, most videos out there do not help you out at all. Most videos are there to entertain you or to get you riled up or to invoke some kind of justice warrior in you. But in effect, that doesn't really activate the brain in anything that pushes you along on your purpose. So you have to really limit yourself on all of the news stuff and find something that's mentally stimulating. One of the people that I used to really study a lot was Bob Proctor. And he said that when you study an author, and that author is a successful author, what you're doing is your brain is really, you're going onto a frequency, and from that frequency, you're basically thinking from that frequency. And if you come across, let's say it's just a paragraph in a book, and you really resonate with it, keep looking at it, keep studying it more and more and more. And what will happen is you're literally making a jump. You're going from something that's maybe you're kind of trotting along your everyday life down here, and you start reading that higher level book, or it could be even a podcast sometimes, but it needs to be mentally stimulating. You're going from here up to this higher level frequency, and when you start thinking from this higher level frequency, then you have ideas. Then you start getting on the frequency of maybe that new job. Then you start getting into the frequency of that new relationship. Then you start feeling strong again. Your body feels strong. You are powerful from a higher frequency. And it really is about states. We're dealing with brain states. Our entire lives it's really about living from these brain states, from these frequencies. But it's not just in the brain, it's also all throughout your body. When you're on a vibration, let's say, of gratitude or love, you feel different. Your body walks lightly. You walk and hold yourself differently. You feel confident. You feel social. You feel powerful. You feel like you can do anything. That's what you want to replicate on a day-to-day basis. And what I would recommend again, if you have not found your purpose, especially, but even if you have, find some good, meaningful material. Find some material that's adding something to your life. Find a book that you're really interested in and get on it every day. Now, I personally love audiobooks because audiobooks I can put on, I can have it going in the background, but it also requires me to focus. It requires me to create images in my mind. That's what's missing from a lot of videos. If it's just a pure video, a lot of the pure videos kind of do the thinking for you, and thus it doesn't exercise the brain. Also, I have loads of physical books. I love physical books because, again, it does the same thing. It requires you to create the image in your brain, and then when you do that, you're exercising those neural pathways, and you're literally moving onto that frequency. So you really have to make the shift of not indulging in the stuff and start loving this kind of material. Okay, it looks like the video is turned off, so apologize for that. I'm going to end this video. Take this to heart, do it, and you're going to lift yourself out of your rut. You're going to be on. You're going to remember yourself again. God bless you wherever you are. Take care. There will be more coming out. See you next time.